What's going on, guys? So today we're talking about grapes again. So when you saw the first video about grapes, you might have thought to yourself, wow, I never thought I'd be watching some knife channel or whatever you watch for, and this guy would talk about grapes. Well, I'll bet you, for those people who didn't think I'd ever talk about grapes, you definitely didn't think I'd make a second video about grapes, but here it is nonetheless. So today we're talking about Zante currant grapes, okay? Champagne variety. So, yeah, I saw those other grapes, the, finger grapes or moon grapes, or I actually forgot the real name of them off the top of my head. But anyway, the long, big, fat ones, they're the biggest grape I ever saw in my life. These are the smallest grapes I've ever seen in my life. So while looking for the big, fat grapes that I liked, I found these. But anyway, these are the smallest grapes I've ever seen. Now, these are a currant variety of grapes. I've actually had currant tomatoes. I've grown currant tomatoes, which were, pretty small little, it's like, regular cherry tomatoes like that. The currant tomatoes were small. They're tiny, like currants. So this is really fascinating because when I got these, I thought, wow, this would be cool because it'd be like a big old cluster of small grapes. Not the case. They are quite literally just teeny tiny little grapes. So each little grape has its own little stem attached to it, because what I thought I would do, looking at the package, it looked like clumps. So I thought like one grape was really a bunch of clusters and what was attaching them would be, too small to really notice to be chewy, so it'd actually be edible. So I'd be able to pop a bunch in my mouth at once, but not the case. You have to literally pick each tiny one of these off, all right, one by one to eat them. Now this would be really cool in a salad, just because of presentation and stuff. But as far as eating them, of course not a huge fan. I like the really big grapes. I thought those were a much cooler option. But here we go. Let's do a little taste test real quick. And they're grapes. These don't have a particularly different taste, whereas the finger grapes or moon grapes, those were noticeably sweeter. These taste like regular old grapes. They are just teeny tiny. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in here for you real quick so you can get a better shot of this. Again, each one has its own tiny little stem. All right, so that's all. Teeny tiny little grapes, champagne grapes, or currant grapes, more specifically. So that's all. That's what this video is about, more grapes. But I'm not gonna drag on with it. Just wanted to share with you if that was an interesting find. Again, probably cool in specific recipes if you're really into cooking. You might find different ways to use these where normal grapes would be too big, or this would look kind of cool, but they'd still be grapes. Like I said, maybe like a interesting tossed into a fruit salad. Most people wouldn't know what these are. You wouldn't think to see this many tiny grapes. Obviously, if you have a regular little bushel of grapes, you might get one of the lame ones that's kind of tiny or small, and then sometimes you get like a really big one. But to have a whole plate of it or a whole recipe used with these grapes would be just kind of cool. It's different. That's the only time I'd really see these to be an advantage over regular old grapes. I wouldn't just pick on these for a snack, but in certain recipes it could be different, and different's good. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.